Hey YouTube, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I'm going to do a little live stream that has to do with photography in general, mainly about the internet and photography, but mostly about finding yourself and photography in general. There we go. What I would like to talk about primarily is how social media is destroying photography as a hobby. I'm trying to get the exposure right. And it's interesting with that light door and that backdrop, how it's so bright. Let's see. Yeah, if I just get out from under here, that would solve everything. Let's see if I change my backdrop a little bit. That's weird. And I've got a cup of coffee. All right, we're fixing stuff. I had the exposure worked out. Yes. How about we just do this? There we go. The rooster signals this time. Y'all can hear the rooster crow. That's pretty good. All right. There's at least 5 roosters in that coop. They get along most of the time. We're trying to figure out what to do with the extra 2 or 3 we have. Yeah. They're all cooped up today because we can't let them out. We've got to go off this evening, and we won't be here at dark to lock them up. Wouldn't live any other way. Yeah, really. But I've just been watching social media some, and I've mainly it's Instagram and Facebook. I've noticed it the most on, but you see people just copycatting and copycatting. They're not being original. They're not even trying. They're wanting to replicate images that someone else has done, and I feel it's for the likes. It's because they want their account to grow, because they're trying to monetize their social media experience, and they're trying to replicate what everyone else is doing that seems to be getting them exposure. And while as a business tool that makes sense, in the creative world it does not. You wind up getting stagnant and you get burnt out on the hobby because you're trying to make it a business and you just don't make it fun. And at the end of the day, it's got to be fun or you won't do it very long. For instance, today I walked 5 miles round trip up to the waterfall in Cloudland Canyon, took some photos of the waterfall because I knew it would look good today, and back out. That whole period of time, I was basically doing what Phil Thatch does on his channel. But I wasn't trying to copy Phil. I was trying to draw inspiration from him. Because any other day, I could have went up there and photographed the waterfall, but it wouldn't have looked like today. Today it has a lot of water because it's rained for the last 2 days. So knowing that, I knew there'd be a nice broad curtain, and I knew it was a prime opportunity to get an interesting photo. So that's why I went. And I also wanted to see what the rest of the creek looks like. So I went up there and saw all that. This coffee's good today. I bought a cup of coffee at McDonald's on my way out to the state park. Got into the state park and was walking out the trail, stopped to do something simple. I was making a simple change to something, and dropped my cup of coffee, spilled the whole thing right in the middle of the trail. Ruined it. Just poured it out. There was one little swig in the bottom of the cup left, so I drank that and put it in my pocket, carried it out. But that's the way it goes sometimes. But to jump back in, we have a place where people here stand. Ooh, let's see what you say. On a bluff and jump, so it looks like they're hanging in the air. This is probably at the 300 feet of the bottom. Ooh, and 3 or 4 of you step off of it. Ouch. There's a place in Arkansas where people stand on a bluff and jump in the air so it looks like they're hanging in the air. He says the problem is it's 300 feet to the bottom, and about 3 or 4 a year actually step off of the bluff, fall to their death. That'd be terrible. Oh, just the thought of that. It'd be like the rock climber that was in Mexico. What's his name? Gobright. What was his first name? Brad Gobright. He was a world famous rock climber. Got to the top of the climb, hooked into the rappel rope with his buddy, and rappelled off the end of his rope and fell 1,000 feet to his death. That was right around Thanksgiving weekend. Terrible event. I can just imagine. You fall 1,000 feet, you got time to think about it for a minute. I mean, it takes you several seconds to get to the bottom. Yeah, he knew what was happening. Oh, Sierra's checking on the chickens, making sure they got plenty to eat. She's went out there and messed with them. Hopefully the wind isn't causing too much trouble on this microphone. I'm running a little lav mic today so that I'll have better audio, because the iPhone wants to be boomy. It's got bad audio at times. So I've piped it in with a little cord. But yeah, social media is great. It's great for linking up with people. It's great for, sharing your work and getting constructive feedback. But it also has a detriment. Terminal velocity is 120 miles an hour, so that would probably give you a few seconds to pray at least. Yeah, let's hope he did. But social media is also, it's addictive. People get addicted to it. It's easy to get addicted to social media, so you got to be careful with it. You got to manage it. You got to manage it very carefully, or it will ruin you. But people they fall into this trap of thinking that they're gonna be like Peter McKinnon or anybody that's got a lot of followers. That's the first one that pops into mind, because he took his YouTube following and basically got them to like him on Instagram, and now he's got like a gazoodle of Instagrammers. But he's monetizing it. He's monetizing it very carefully. And what people also don't understand is he spent like the better part of a decade preparing his channel for that success. And people think they can get rich quick and that they're just going to blow up if they do what that guy's doing over there or that guy's doing over there. And that's not how it works. You got to be yourself, and you got to build your own following based on like-minded people that enjoy what you create, not what your version of someone else creates. At the end of the day, you've got to create your own stuff. Do you want to be known as the guy who copied Peter McKinnon? I don't. I caught myself doing that, trying to do my videos similar to him. Yeah, if you go back about a year and a half, it was right after I started the channel, I got a lot of inspiration from Peter. So I was trying to do the B-roll things like him, and and having the really fancy music like he uses, and trying to do the super fancy transitions like him, and that wasn't my style. It looked like a Peter McKinnon video, just lower quality. So I wasn't really having fun doing it. And at some point, it just occurred to me that maybe I can draw a little element or two from what he does and apply it to mine. So you'll see me use some transitions. He's got a little hack that I love about transitions, and he takes his camera, and it only works if you run it on 24 frames and you don't let it do auto shutter speed. The shutter speed has to be 1/48, but you spin the camera real fast in the location that you're filming in, and what that'll do is that'll capture the color and shapes and the motion blur of your local environment. And then you can cut like a 1/2 second slice of that, get about 8 or 10 frames of it. Oh boy, here comes the pup. He's about to be in the video. Let's see if he knocks over my camera rig. Yep, he's smelling under the pole. I'll let y'all see him. Let me sit down my coffee cup. Hopefully he won't grab it. I'm gonna break loose the camera here. Say hi to Jericho. Oh no. He sees that shipping tube. So now he's worried about it. He's come down to visit. He went to the chicken coop with Sierra and he just realized I'm standing over here, so here he is. But it's okay, boy. It's my trademarks of the chiming clock and my cats. Yeah. What are your thoughts about? It's okay, boy. It's okay. I know it. I can't pick him up. He'll chew on my fingers and my microphone, and I can't pick him up and hold him. You can only hold him if you're willing to avoid the body teeth. About Instagram not showing the likes in countries, maybe all soon. Jacob, it's okay, fella. It's okay. It's okay. Here, I'll give you a pet. There you go. Yeah, it's okay. Now go ahead. He's not going to leave me alone. Oh, where's Sierra when you need her? Oh, good. Here comes a cat. He'll chase the cat, and that'll get him off of me. Actually, Jacob, I like the fact that Instagram is hiding the likes. It wouldn't bother me if they took them away altogether. What they're trying to do, honestly, I've looked at this from a business standpoint. They're not trying to do this as some kind of social justice move or whatever you want to call it, or a morality statement or something like that. That's not what that's about at all. What it's about is there's some Instagrammers, and it's a pretty good contingent, that actually have monetized their channel, and they've based their fees on how many likes a post gets. And they have huge audiences, and they do commercial work with businesses, and they do this advertising for them. All right. And they won't charge you so much per post, and they guarantee this many likes and this many shares and things like that. And it gets you reach across the ground. Well, by hiding the likes, they no longer have that metric to show the advertising agency company that they're working with or whatever. They've lost that metric. They've created this barrier now that they can get through, but it creates a lot of work for them to get through it. They have to go into the background, take a screenshot, email the screenshot, to where it used to be the company that was promoting the product with you. They could just go look at the post and see it. Well, now they can't. And I honestly think what they're about to do is they're about to try and drive that advertising traffic straight to Instagram and circumvent those creators entirely. Or they're wanting to insert themselves into the loop by saying, okay, for a monthly fee, we'll turn your likes back on. I think that's where this is going. Yeah, I don't think it's to help problems with. This dog is on the golf cart now. I don't think it's a problem with like addiction to social media or something like that. I don't think they're trying to solve that at all. I think they're trying to do it to generate ad revenue for Instagram, because they're seeing that these people are making a good living off this free platform, and they want to cut. It's that simple. I guarantee you that's where it's coming. They'll come back with that. And now seriously, I figure once it sinks in and it becomes the norm, they'll have a function where you can, for a monthly fee, $10 a month or whatever, they'll come up with some kind of way of capitalizing on that. It's all about the dollar. At the end of the day, all those big social media giants they could care less about the people. It's all about the money to them. Don't let them fool you, especially Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram because they have stockholders now. Once they went public, they have to report to the investors, and the investors want to see profits. You know, yeah. But it does promote, it does. At the end of the day, you see it pushing people to copycat a lot. Oh, he wants that cat to run so he can chase him so bad, but the cat doesn't want to run. So the cat just bows up, fuzzes his tail up about that big around. Nope, he got him to run a little bit. He'll be back in a minute. But yeah, I think that's all that is. But that's why I've been trying to, seriously, Bass Angler says, I got rid of everything except Flickr and YouTube. I don't know if I should admit it on here or not. I was subscribed to 193 YouTube channels yesterday. I looked. You can count them by the page. And I counted them. It was 193 YouTube channels. And I looked, and out of that 193, probably 100 hadn't produced fresh content in months. And I got to looking at why I had subscribed to these channels. Yeah, Bass Angler says I have over 200, LOL. And I don't even know why I was subscribed to some of these. Like maybe I clicked the subscribe button by accident. There was like makeup channels and crap. I don't wear makeup. So it didn't even make sense. So I started cleaning out that bin. I'm now subscribed to 45 channels. Excuse me. And those include AMR. They include the Monochrome Memoirs. I like that guy too. If Max is in here, I like the Monochrome Memoirs guy. I like how he shoots straight. Yeah. The only thing that I do really on Facebook now, Jacob jumped in and said he's thinking about ditching Facebook because all it is ads now. Yeah, they're slowly but surely choking off the part that's about the people to this little tiny segment, and the rest of it's wrapped in ads. I've noticed that as you scroll through your wall, ads flow through the middle now. No, don't you bite the camera mount. He's come back. He's figured out I'm still here. He done run the cat wherever he'd go. But it's just, but you know, it's a bunch of those. But Jeff and Amar had a meet up today. They were having lunch. Nice. I wish I could go up north. I would love to do street photography in New York for like 2 days straight, back to back. That would be awesome. I was there for one evening, and then the next day we did the tour. I don't remember if I think we rode a tour bus, and we did tour stops. And then the next day we rented a car in Queens and left, and we drove up the northeast coast all the way to Canada. We went to St. John, Canada, and just drove up the coast, stopping along the way at places. But I only got to, I shot street photography for about 1 hour and got 2 or 3 photos. They're in the video I do about going to New York City. I actually have a couple of them street photos. And I figured out how people get out in the middle of the street and photograph people crossing the crosswalk without getting hit by cars. They have large swaths of the streets blocked off for construction. And the streets will be 6 lanes wide. Well, they'll block off 4 of them. So that leaves two-way traffic just in 2 lanes. So you can walk out in the middle of the road and there's a barrier behind you. People can't drive through there. You can just take a knee right there in the crosswalk and take pictures of the other side of the street. That's how they get those really cool photos, because I got one. But anyway, it was cliche, just like everybody else. Gather my thoughts back up. This silly dog's down here doing stuff. Now he's behind me. I don't know what he wants. He probably isn't. If they met up, they're probably shooting photos. No, that's Amar and Jeff. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm now subscribed to like 45 channels total. And it's the ones that I actually watch. So I pulled out of all those other ones because it was just clogging up my feed with stuff I didn't watch and wasn't even interested in. And I just got to thinking, Facebook's the same way, and so is Instagram. I thought, you know, I watched a couple of YouTube videos about how to make your Instagram grow, because I've always wondered what are their tactics, because you can tell I'm not doing any of them. And the whole point of it is you have to be consistent and have consistency in your content, but consistency in your uploads, consistency in your hashtags. That way you fall into a niche and people know you for that niche. Well, my niche is just whatever I want to do, because if you scroll through my Instagram, it's chaos. And I have like, I don't even think I have 250 followers, and it's been like that for a year. I've had from 240 to 250 followers for a year, and I'm not interested in growing it because it takes too much of my time. I would rather be out photographing something than staring at Instagram. It's just, the best way I can phrase it is, why would I watch someone on TV do something when I can be out doing something too? I would so much rather be out doing something myself as be watching it on TV. And to me, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram are nothing more than a adaptation of television, because it's a screen and you watch it uninterrupted. So it's basically television to me. But yeah, that, I just don't see the value in watching it for long periods of time. Yeah, I know you're down here, boy. I know you're down here. All right. Pet him twice and he starts nipping at me because he's a puppy and he has to bite stuff. Yeah. Don't you get my coffee cup. Go chase the cat. All right. He loves to chase the chickens too. We have to get on to him for that. He'll leave them alone most of the time, but then he'll find one he likes and he'll go after it, and it'll run around and it'll fly, and then he'll quit chasing. Oh, he laid down finally. All right. But today I went up into Cloudland Canyon and it was beautiful. The only thing about it, now the clouds have moved out, which is kind of weird, because this morning it was completely gray. The sky was completely gray with cloud cover. It was just seated completely gray in clouds. And I get up there and the waterfall is beautiful. Perfect wide curtain of water coming off of the rocks. There's a big rock boulder at the bottom that's basically framed by the curtain. I get down next to the water's edge and get all set up, start taking photos. Yeah, for the last 3 days, we have got a significant amount of rain. Bass Angler just said, you guys got a lot of rain, didn't you? I said, yeah, a lot more than I thought. It's, meow. There's a cat now. The other yellow shop cat's here. She's probably wants something to eat. Yeah, he loves to chase a cat. He wants the cat to run so bad, but she won't. She ran over to the tree line and then turned around and bowed up on him, and he stopped. But it wasn't heavy rain. It was just a slow, consistent drizzle. And it came in after that snow we had, what, Tuesday, Wednesday? I guess it was Wednesday when the snow was, so it snowed Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning I got up and there was snow on everything. And I rode up on Lookout and I made that video about the houses in the city of Lookout Mountain. If you're into vintage architecture, that's a place to go if you come to Chattanooga. You go to Rock City, that takes you up to what they call Fairyland. As bizarre as that sounds, the north end of Lookout Mountain is bisected. The way the mountain runs, okay, it runs at an angle. It cuts through Georgia and then back into Tennessee, all right? So and it's right up at the tip of the mountain is where that state line occurs. So on the Georgia side, the city is known as the city of Fairyland. And it literally has a big arch entranceway now called Fairyland, and it's a very exclusive neighborhood. And the streets are named like Little Red Riding Hood and Three Pigs Way, and and all these little Mother Goose Lane. That's the name of the streets. Then you cross the state line, and it's the city of Lookout Mountain. And all of those houses were built early 1900s, early 20th century kind of architecture. That's what most of it is. Some of them are older, some of them